What is up, you guys? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video we chat with Casey about property management, landlording, and how to hire contractors. Now this is a topic we talked with Casey a little bit at a high level, but we've never really just dived in just on this subject matter. So in this video, Casey will actually explain to you what he pays his supers, kind of what he pays for painting or to flip a unit. And I know for myself, this was an area I really struggled with once I started scaling my business. A lot of us real estate investors, we start off doing all the work ourselves, and that's fine. It allows us to save money. We learn a lot about the processes, which should in theory make us better at hiring people out. The problem is, if you're like me, you don't hire it out until you absolutely desperately need to hire it out. So you end up just scrambling and just taking anyone that's available, and you hire the first person. I made a major mistake with this, and it cost me a lot of money, a lot of grief, and a lot of time. I'm hoping if you guys watch this video and watch my other videos, you'll be able to avoid these kind of school of hard knock lessons that myself, Casey, and a lot of the other people I've featured on my channel have had to go through. So if you guys are enjoying these videos with Casey, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise, let's just jump into it with Casey. I know like property managers, like how to find the right property manager is something that people always ask. We did kind of cover a fair bit about that, so I don't know if there's any other like property manager tips you want to give, or
property
like,
manager
your
tips.
First property manager, like how do you, or like dealing with contractors too. I know you walked through kind of that you know, you get like 3 people to bid, that you kind of like use the first one to learn the second one. So like, is there a similar approach with property managers or?
Property manager, it's been a while. So after that, sort of that fiasco of like Hamilton, I started doing it myself. And again, you mentioned about, I just do the high level. Yeah, I do the high level property management. That's easier for me, where I can screen the tenants before the showing. So I screen them and make sure I know who I'm getting in, or who I know viewing the place. So that's property management, where I'm doing the screening, the contractors, I'm picking out the contractors. What else do property managers do?
You have your like subs, or like your supervisors doing the basic cleaning and stuff, right?
So going back to the cleaning, the superintendents and the cleaners. So what they do is that they'll clean for $200 a month, and then they do again, Mondays and the Fridays is when they'll clean all the common areas. They'll walk around the building, picking up the garbage. You have those little whatever the picker upper things, whatever that thing is. But they'll walk around. They'll clean. So it's $200, and then anything else. Say cleaning a unit is $100. Painting a unit will be $350 or $450, or up to maybe let's say $800 to $900 for everything. Like one of my professional painters will come and buy all the material, paint, and all that. And it's about $800 for 1 bedroom and $900 for a 2-bedroom. So I'm watching that. I'll go to the unit, I make sure it's done properly, then I pay. It's never I pay first or whatever. All the supplies are delivered and they start working. So that's what I do. So overall, again, I screen the tenants, I sign the leases with them, I meet them, I qualify them. So all of this is what I would do. It's not difficult. I can probably do about I say about 700, but let's say about 500 to 700. I can probably do majority of that work.
And so, like when a tenant calls a phone number, is that going literally to you every time?
Yeah.
So how many phone calls a day do you currently get with 170 units?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
So each week, I can't do it per day because sometimes I don't usually get a lot of maintenance requests every single day. So out of 1 week, I'll probably get anywhere from maybe 2 to 3, right? Not even. As long as you're on top of it, right? If they tell me, okay, well, my tap is leaking, my toilet is running, I'm just gonna send the super. Yes, verify that the flapper needs to get changed. I get the super to do it. It's super easy. Just change a flapper. If it's something that's a little bit more complicated, I'm gonna get he's my go-to super that would roam. So he goes from buildings to buildings and he does all the small stuff. And then if it's something major, there's my other contractor that would do major renovations. So I usually have, in each building, I'll have my cleaner slash super doing the work. Then I have somebody roaming in this neighborhood. And then I have another guy that will do all my renovations inside the unit. So I have all of that sort of taken care of. And then obviously if Dave Voisin, my person that's roaming, if he can't do it, then I'll have to jump over to somebody else. And I usually have about 2 to 3 plumbers that will do the work for me. I have one guy that does all my snaking, any of the lines. If there's a clog anywhere, he'll run for me and get it done. It's all in. It's about $197 to snake out a line, any kind of line. That's his price. If there's plumbers, I usually have 2 professional plumbers that needs to get, that's basically on call. Like I can quickly pick up the phone and they'll jump and get the work done for me, right? And then one really good electrician, he's just semi-retired. So he had a good, career for 30, 40 years. He just helps me out for doing all the electrical work. So knowing all these trades is crucial, because at a whim you may have to call them up and say, hey, I have this, something's backed up, or this electrical issue here. So you have to have those trades that you work with before that will know that you're willing, at the end of the day, when the work is done, that you're willing to pay, right? And then I'm pretty quick as well. Once the work is done, they can take a picture of it, they can send it to me. But tenants will usually send, hey, yeah, good work. He's here in 20 minutes and work is done, right? I usually tell them once he's done, tell me when it's done, and then I would e-transfer. Now it's so simple. It's like you can e-transfer things, right? You don't even have to go there and see it. He just sends you the invoice. Tenant verifies the work, e-transfer. You don't even have to be there, but the work has to be done, right? For any kind of trades, you just have to make sure that you're getting honest people. Sometimes you're not paying the cheapest, right? The cheapest trades that I'm going to be getting, again, would be the painting, because on the trades list of, on that totem pole, painting is the easiest. I can paint, right? I don't know about the electrical, right? But painting I can always do, like cleaning a toilet, right? Or mopping a floor, right? Cleaning and painting is really relatively easy. So you're not going to overpay for that. Other things like doing concrete, forming stairs, ramps, tuck pointing on on a 3-story, 2.5-story with scaffolding could be a little bit more time consuming, and you need specific trades. Plumbing work, electrical. So you're not paying the cheapest all the time. Sometimes you do pay a little bit more because you want that service there. Like when you call them up, they're there, right? So again, if you can pay the cheapest, great. But if you can't, if you have a good plumber and he's always there, you're paying an extra, $20 or $30. Sometimes, hey, it's worth it, right? Mm-hmm. So, but just be careful. Some of the trades, if you're not always there and you're not watching, they can gouge you, right?
Yeah. Do you make most of them do by the job or piecemeal, or are you doing time plus material?
No, it's always piecemeal. I never do time and material, never. It's always by the work. And they know that.
How detailed are you in the scope of work that they're agreeing to?
They know they know how I work. Mm-hmm. So flooring is, I think it's like $6 a square foot, including material. So let's say $3 for material and $3 for labor. So $6 in total, right? Sometimes I may pay a little bit more for subfloors, but they know exactly what they're getting into. So let's say it's 400 square feet at $6. What is it? $2,400, right? Mm-hmm. So there it is. Right, 2,400. Painting, they know exactly what it is. So it's piecemeal. Why would anybody pay for time and material? I did that one time for painting at chapel. I was like, because my wife was actually managing it. Because my wife doesn't know exactly. She doesn't like the property management. She doesn't like that part of the business. She likes looking at the numbers. And then she was doing time and material. I'm like, this guy's gonna take forever, right? That's what he does. And I looked at it, I was like, dude, I didn't pay him. I said, it was worth, I think it was like $700 or something. Like he had to pay $700 or $800. It was a unit, and it's part of the hallway, the exterior wallway. I think it's like, that's back then in 2004, it was expensive, right? I think $700 or $800. I said, I capped you at, that's it. And I said, this is it. Unfortunately, I think it's fair, $800 or something. I was like, that's all I'm paying. If you think it's valued more, I'll see you in court, right? You have to say that. Say, you know what, take me to court then. For those extra $300, take me to court. Because I know exactly what this is going to cost. It's not going to cost any more than, let's say, $800. $800. You want to bill me, let's say, $2,000. I don't remember the number. But let's say it's $2,000. No, it's not worth $2,000 for painting. So never do time and material. It's per project. The project of this to paint, they walk through it, they know exactly what they're getting into, and that's it, right? Flooring is the same thing. Electrical, if I had to change my electrical panels for this unit, it's a 60 amp service, I think the material was only $600 or something, right? Even for this building, actually my student housing, one of the upgrades, or one of the, it was something that was really I had to do, was that the electrical had aluminum wiring, right? And I went to other people and I said, hey, like, what would you do with aluminum wiring? And I talked to a few people, and having aluminum wiring is a fire hazard, because they expand and contract differently, right? So the connections are different, and all you had to do, some guys said that you have to change it all. I go, no, is that? And then I started asking around, and aluminum wiring just had to be pigtailed. So you pigtail it and oxycoat it. So some of these electricians, or so-called electricians, they just wanted more work. So just ask around. So if it's aluminum wiring, what do? Oxycoat it, right? And pigtail and oxycoat it, right? So we had to do all the receptacles everywhere, all the light fixtures throughout this whole building. And it cost me a lot. It's more labor intensive. I think it was $400 a unit or something. Something like, I don't remember, it was a while ago. But I quickly got that done, because I knew I didn't want, anybody on me, and I get ESA, which is Electrical Safety Authority. I get them to give me the paperwork, and the safety authority okayed it. I got all that. So you do things properly. If it's not done properly, just make sure it's done properly, and make sure you get the right trades in there. And sometimes you ask from trade to trade. You don't just go with one person. So one electrician said that you have to change it all, or something to that effect. Or maybe I asked another investor, he said, no, I pulled it all out. Like, really? It's like, that's expensive now. I'm rewiring an 18 unit building, pulling all the wires out. Shoot, that's expensive, right? So just ask around, right?
And so as far as finding those first contractors, or the first plumbers or electricians, are you going on Kijiji asking for referrals? How do you,
Yeah. So referrals, sometimes when you get referrals, you're not necessarily, you're not calling them and saying, hey, what's this referrals? You'll say, hey, I'm just like your tenant questions, right? Sorry, let me go jump back in. This sort of popped in my mind, is that when you're asking about previous landlords, I call them up. I'm not sure if this is, if I said this before, is that I call them up and say, hey, do you have a unit available? This is the current landlord, right? So I'll call them up and say, hey, do you have a unit available? And sometimes it's actually their friends. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's their friends, and they're actually pretending to be the current landlord. Of course, they're going to give a good reference. Same thing with contractors as well. Sometimes they reference, you don't know who they are, right? So you may have to put a spin on it and say, hey, you know what, I'm a fellow contractor. I don't know. Make up a story so that it's not a future client of theirs. Okay. Your question was, how do you? Yeah,
just where do you find them, and then how do you figure it out if that random person on Kijiji is trustworthy? I actually, what I normally, this is for my Cambridge buildings, is that I got a whole bunch of, put it on Kijiji, I put it on your local advertisement, and I got a whole bunch of, seriously, I think I got 20 people, 30 people coming. I just lined them all up. I said, come on this specific time. I spaced them out for 10 minutes, and they saw each other. Any other red flags that come to mind?
And then they were bidding on the same project. And then very simple questions. Yeah. Some of these contractors they actually don't even have any money, right, to even buy material. Didn't have a truck, right? So I'm not going to use them, right? Seriously, I'm not going to fork out the money. They have to get the material. They have to have a truck. Sometimes if there's a good contractor, it's like if they don't have a truck, I can always get it delivered, right? Home Depot will deliver it, and then they can start the work. But if they don't have any money, it's like it's tough to use these guys. And for some of these contractors, you have to make sure that they're licensed and insured as well. So WSIB and insurance, they have to have liability insurance. So you take a look at the paperwork as well. So they do have to carry insurance. And put in the ad. So this will weed through a lot of the the people that's just looking for like a side hustle, right? But yeah, you have to go through them first, and I do let them compete. And that's how, you know, when you saw my contractors, he's been working for me for the last, I think, 2 years now, right? And I give him the bulk of the work. So sometimes it's a hit or miss, but you have to, you know, go through them. I do actually take their ID, right? I get their driver's license. Usually I ask for their social insurance number as well, right? And if they want, I give them mine. I say, hey, it's like, do you have a problem with that? And they usually say, no, here it is, right? I'm going to give you continuous work. They walk into my buildings and they can see it. My name is all over the place, my business card and all that. But if they're uncomfortable with, you know, giving identification, it's, you know, it's a red flag, right? I say, hey, if you want mine, here it is, right? So, you know, I'm pretty fair with people. I go to the contractors, I go to these people, because we're going to have a long-term working relationship, right? I don't want them, it's a fly-by-night, here it is, done, I'm off. But I have had that as well, so.
Any other red flags that come to mind when dealing with a contractor? For example, like if they want to get paid up front?
Yeah, exactly. That's like, why would you get paid up front? That doesn't make sense, right? Like, I don't go to work and say, hey, TD Bank, pay me up front, right? I want to get paid now. It's like, it doesn't happen that way, right? It never, like, that's something that, yeah, I never pay up front. I could pay for the material first, but usually I want them to pay for it, right? Now they have money tied up into this, right? So a plumber is going to change all these pipes, for example. They're not going to say, hey, I need money for pipes, right? For your ABS pipes, right? They're not going to do that. They have the money, right? Hey, I need money to rent a truck to get the material. No, it doesn't happen that way. So if they're people that you don't have the money, then yeah, I usually don't work with them, right? I don't want to be paying the cheapest all the time. So if you're getting a good contractor, you know, it's like, they should know. They should have some money. They should be able to fork up something before they start. Yeah.
All right, thanks again to Casey for taking the time to just kind of explain to us how he hires property managers, how he hires his supers, what he pays to, you know, paint a unit, and kind of his process for hiring tradespeople. I know it's an area that's a black box for a lot of novice or beginning investors. So again, I think these conversations are really valuable. If you guys are getting value from these conversations, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise, until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys. Bye.